Good evening. Welcome back to Play the Hits. This is Max taking the helm on Strawberry Crystal Heart Collector. Chris, how you doing tonight?
I'm fucking great. How are you doing, buddy?
I am fantastic. Been a pretty good extended weekend for me. So yeah,
Wait,
sucks to
what?
go back.
Oh, Memorial Day. Yeah, see, holidays.
Yeah.
Holidays are
Oh,
meaningless
yeah.
for me right now.
Not everyone could be take a sabbatical.
Yeah,
So.
right. Summer vacation
Yeah,
at
you're
age
one
35.
every 8 years, like.
Spoiled son of a bitch.
But yeah, it's been nice. Went camping this weekend.
Oh, nice. Where'd you go?
Let's see. Where is Kamlara at? It's a place
I believe
near...
that's illegal in most states.
It's it's actually near Bloomington, Illinois.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, right. We're at the Mirror Temple, which is probably the longest stage of
Is this
game.
going to be like one of those disappointing Last Jedi mirror temples where the plot doesn't actually get forwarded in any meaningful way?
No, it's not that at all, thankfully. So, and we still got a few stages after this. So,
we've talked about that before. Like, I did kind of dig sometimes what Rian Johnson was putting out there, but fuck
Me
that
too,
part. That was nothing. That was less than nothing. Like, even like when they kind of retconned some of the stuff from The Last Jedi to make it more finger quotes palatable, that still ended up being nothing. Like, they never gave any credence to that stupid mirror force cave that Rey went into in The Last Jedi. Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that's
that was
the thing
just
about...
a lot of bullshit.
It was a lot of bullshit, and I do appreciate a lot of what Johnson was trying to do with that movie. If he was going to like direct the third one, especially too, it seemed like he was setting some stuff up. Yeah, that didn't.
But
go
instead,
anywhere.
like the fan reaction to it was so negative that they felt like the only way to finger quotes save it was to bring back in what's his name from Star Trek, J.J. Abrams.
Abrams, yeah.
And Abrams is a fine director, but like.
Yeah.
What a fucking mess to hand that guy, again, not that The Last Jedi was necessarily all bad. I mean, it had its ups and downs, but I overall kind of liked what he was trying to do with it. But then, like, basically Disney just handed it back to Abrams and said, this is totally broken. Fix it as best you can. Like, what the hell are you supposed to do with that? Like,
I mean,
like, we want this to be
the
safest, most action-packed mess of a movie you can possibly make.
And it wasn't even safe. They tried to make it safe, which made it kind of gross. But in doing that, it ended up just being like
oh
nothing.
No, she was totally Palpatine's granddaughter the whole time.
Yeah.
Never mind that implies that Palpatine fucked someone.
Like he was, which, come on.
Like, who is the poor bastard or bastardess that Palpatine fucked?
And also with these ages, it doesn't work. Like, he had to have done it as the Emperor, like not as a suave senator. Like, how does that work?
Is that right? Oh yeah, because she's the same age as Kylo, and he was born after. He was born after.
This didn't work out for me.
Yeah, so that would have to make Rey's parents roughly the same age as Luke and Leia and Han, right? And so for that to be accurate, you're right. He would have had to have shagged somebody while he was the Emperor.
Yeah, which, come on.
Unless it was just some stupid, like, preserve my seed in this cloning tube. Yeah.
And that's what I'm thinking. It probably was, although
but they didn't say that either.
They're not going to say anything.
It's just Palpatine had a son that he was disappointed in.
I think they were like, the less we say, the better.
Oh, absolutely.
And, yeah.
Which is the one thing that they probably did correct.
Yeah, but like you said, safe, but at the same time, it ended up being nothing because they could. If the more they said, the more is going to be like, wait, that doesn't make sense. Like,
right. Like, never mind too that as far as like character relations for Rey, Palpatine is probably the least interesting choice because he's just all he is like pure malevolence, right? He's not a complex character necessarily. Not like if it were somehow like Obi-Wan, and now it's Obi-Wan's grandchild versus the heir to the Skywalkers who's turned to the dark side. That would be kind of interesting. It would be kind of like a rematch of the Obi-Wan Anakin fight. That might have been kind of cool, but yeah. Who the hell knows? Oh, what was that? It pulled some shit on you. How does that thing move? It moves every time you dash.
Every time I dash, okay. Yeah.
So stop dashing.
I was just being an idiot.
There we go. Anyway, that's all I'll say about that. As we were talking before the episode began, so right now I just got Connor Animal Crossing, and he's super into it.
Oh yeah.
And he's having me help him because, it's kind of a grind fest at the beginning to kind of wrap your head around. And so I'm basically telling him kind of like what he needs to do to build a house, get Nook points, all that good stuff. And I'm figuring it out as I go along. And lo and behold, I'm getting super into it. So I put an island on my system so that I can purchase a second copy of the damn game and play it with him. And I'll probably just end up getting it digital. But like right now, Sony is closing down the not related to Nintendo, but Sony's closing down the PS3 and Vita store, which means that a lot of PS1 classics are going to be pretty much inaccessible for the time being until they, remaster them or come up with like a PS5 classics store or something like that, which I think they should do.
They should. They're not going to because it gives them more room.
There's more money in remasters. Yeah, right.
And to be like, this new game came to Plus. Right. That whole thing. Yeah, like, I feel like Nintendo's
you want to play Xenogears? Well, you better be a fucking subscriber. I mean, that's
Nintendo's found success with that, and Xbox is doing something similar. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's Game Pass, which I guess they do have Xbox and Xbox 360 games on there. Although I feel like Xbox's thing is more, here's Game Pass, but also, there is just nothing there for me. I don't think, let's just go up. But they also have like, hey, we also have every game ever made on the Xbox digitally, which I think is actually cool.
Yeah.
Because hell, for these old games, you're probably not going to be able to find many versions.
Right. You're about to die?
Probably.
Get your ass up there! Get your ass up there! Come on! Oh no! You were close. I think you had the right idea. I think you dashed too soon. Oh wait, no, never mind. That's
why don't I just go in the bottom, like
right, like a thinking man?
Yeah, like a thinker would. There we go.
Thinker, you.
Oh no!
That's why you don't go in the bottom.
Let's do this again.
They saw that coming. There we go.
One more time.
You can do it.
Oop.
Okay, yeah, there you go. That's the ticket.
Let's just be conservative.
But yeah, no, I really liked the I criticized like the PS3 and Wii generation a bit for new games, but that was kind of a golden era as far as access to, digital versions of, classic games. I mean, the PlayStation Store had like pretty much a full PS1 library. That was awesome.
It was. And the Wii, like, it wasn't the fullest library.
Sarah says this looks like a game that Connor would like. There are strawberries. Hi, honey.
I would be thrilled if Connor got really good at this game. This is a tough one though. Let me not go up. That seems seems like a story path. Yeah, but
okay.
Strawberries. I want those strawberries.
I want the damn strawberries. This is a 100% run. Anyway, sorry, you were saying.
What was I saying?
Classics library.
Yeah. So I mean, this PlayStation Plus thing. It's first. I don't know. I like Game Pass a lot. Like this, there'll be some things that come to it, I'm sure, but like PS1 games, what did they say is that it's a very limited library right now as far as PS1 games go.
Oh, on the
yeah.
There's on like a Sony. Wait, I'm actually unaware of this. What service are you talking about? Is it like a streaming
PlayStation?
Is it upgraded PlayStation Plus, or is it like a streaming service?
They're upgrading PlayStation Plus. They're going to have 3 tiers of PlayStation Plus now.
I have not heard of this.
Let's go this way.
Oh, nice.
And so there's going to be 3 tiers. The first tier is just what we have right now.
Oh, no.
Oh, I just
go on. I think this is going to piss me off, but go on.
The second tier is like what is it, like some PS5 games, like Game Pass style. And then the third tier actually has some PS3 games, but the PS3 games, as you might imagine, are stream only.
Damn it!
Because of the cell processor, is all weird. So
yeah, I guess that makes sense. Though honestly, like, I don't know, so many PS3 games, with the exception of a couple of exclusives, were also released for PC. So maybe just strike up a deal where you just get those versions of the games and just slap the PS3 logo on them or something.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Why didn't I not think of that? Oh my.
Oh my. Is George Takei dead?
No, he's not.
Good. We need him.
Yeah, he's not bad.
Though, what really pisses me off right now, people are telling him to run for office, and
we don't need more old people.
Well, no, we don't. It's not just old people. Like, he gave a very measured response, which I 100% agree with, which is that, I'm an actor and a comedian. Like, stop encouraging celebrities who you just happen to, like, enjoy their personality to run for office. Like, that alone does not a civil servant make, Yeah. And I kind of hate this, like, almost as much as, Trump's politics and policies itself. Like, what I really hate about what he's done is that we now feel like we have to get a celebrity to run for office in order to match, like, the momentum of like what Trump did, which just sucks, because you look at celebrities and even the ones who happen to share political policies that I agree with, they're still fucking maniacs and like not and beyond that, like, even the good ones, like, have no experience in running, like, a government office. Like, what do you say to that?
Yeah.
And I get, like, there's, like, an appeal to not having, like, a Washington insider, but there's a fine line there between, like, a bought and paid for, like, someone who's in deep with the lobbyists or something like that, versus someone who's just, a dedicated civil servant. Like, those are the kind of career politicians that we should be electing. Like, fuck Ted Cruz and the NRA money, but give me another Hillary Clinton who, genuinely her goal was just to better the living wages and conditions for women. I mean, that's...
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, there has to be a middle ground from, like, total outsider. You could be, like, political outsider, but know what the fuck you're doing. Like,
right.
Seriously. Oh, yeah. And so someone who just, I could see the appeal of someone who maybe doesn't know a whole lot of what they're doing as a comedian, but they have a lot of money and their heart's in the right place. So you surround yourself with, like, people who do know what they're doing. But
see, my thought on that right now is, like, I understand what you're saying, but I, like, disagree philosophically, because at that point then we almost expect a celebrity to run for the highest office in the land, and instead of someone who really does have political goals and an idea of where this country should go, you get this kind of, like, flash in the pan, hey, wouldn't it be great if everybody were white and owned guns like Trump? Like, it's like that's what his movement was all about.
And as far as celebrities, it could be a cult of personality. And
whether they are actually good for the office or not.
Yeah.
So,
and they're
like,
still
going to
be the figurehead.
About, like, Oprah and The Rock and who else have I heard? I don't know. But like, all of them are just terrible ideas. Not because they're necessarily bad people or because I disagree with them, but because, again, like, give me somebody who is just the most milquetoast, boring, stable human being that just kind of, like, fills the desk and passes policy that's good for the nation. That's all I want. Like, I don't want to turn on the news and be like, oh, hey, today President Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson tweeted that everybody has to drink protein shakes or they're big pussies. It's like, I don't really need to hear that from my politicians. Like, I could just open Dwayne Johnson's Twitter and hear whatever his thoughts are on the economy, like, safely away from whether he has any clue about what he's talking about or not.
Yeah. At first, I wanted to disagree and be like, okay, but that's not necessarily realistic to have someone who, you know, really is just selfless and wants, you know, what's best for people and country and not try to enrich themselves. But that is literally what we used to have. That was the norm.
Well,
you know, it hasn't been the norm for a little bit, but
even right now, like look at our Congress. For every like Marjorie Taylor Greene, there's at least 10 other congressional representatives whose names you don't know because they're not getting involved in major scandals. They're not starting feuds on social media. They're just showing up trying to pass resolutions, and people like Green or celebrity personalities like Trump are making their jobs next to impossible because you get embroiled in all of this social media and newsworthy like feuding, and that's ultimately, I think, the biggest damage that Trump has done to our nation. I mean, more so than his policies and what he did to the Supreme Court, which is heinous. And
more so than it used to be, because they would always try to drive ratings, you know, or drive clicks by having people like, here's someone who believes in global warming and here's some nut job who doesn't, you know. Right. But they did figure out that, you know, Trump was getting the ratings by being a complete lunatic, basically, and just like being so full of himself,
completely devoid of any like policy or, you know, any semblance of like actual government. Like it used to be like people hated George Bush because like he really saw this country of ours as being like a theocracy, right? Like he called the war in Iraq a crusade, and he thought that only Bible-believing Christians should be in office and stuff like that. And that used to pass, in our lifetime, mind you, used to pass for like some of the most out there, like crazy shit that you could say as a far-right conservative. Nowadays, he looks positively centrist by comparison.
It's sad.
Because the right has become this Trump machine where it's all about like, you know, who can say like the most brazenly horrible things about Hispanics, or who can wave their dicks and guns in the face of women who show up to protect abortion rights. You know, it's like, wow, how did we get this? And the way that we got it is, again, Trump. Like, partisan policy stuff aside, like the man just like absolutely left the conservative movement no grounds for like civil debate.
Yeah,
there's no policy debate anymore. It's just like
it's a personality.
Like, who's the craziest, most flamboyant personality, right?
Ugh.
And that's why I hate this whole thing. Like, oh, if we want to win the next election, we've got to get someone whose brand is as recognizable as Trump. Well, no, can we not do that, actually? Can we not play that particular game? Because, you know, on the one hand, we may get, like, who knows, maybe Chris Evans, Captain America, would be a damn fine president. Maybe he starts World War III because he's never held office and doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. You know? Yeah. Like, I don't want to take that risk with my politicians. Like, that's one of the reasons I was so glad that we elected Biden, because he gaffes a lot. But, you know, there's way bigger sins in politics than gaffing. Like, at the end of the day, I love being able to turn on the news, and if I want to, I could look up a Biden story. But, you know, he hasn't done anything really in the last couple of weeks that's completely like frontline worthy out there, you know, like the situation in Afghanistan probably could have been handled better. Like I'll be the first to say that. But at the same time though, like people tend to forget that sort of stuff pretty quickly.
Yeah. And I am definitely like, I agree that I would want someone who is just a civil servant and not like they're a civil servant first, right? You know, and that's kind of like,
or like if, you know, a celebrity like Al Franken or Cal Penn, you know, they put aside their acting career and they start kind of from a more modest position, like that maybe they do run for Congress or they work on a couple of campaigns first, you know, like they actually get themselves into the system before saying, oh yeah, I'm going to be president of the United States.
Yeah, and that's like someone like Cal Penn.
That's different. Like Cal Penn, I think would probably make a great president.
And he also seems like he took a break from acting. You know, I think he really did want to make politics his career. Right. I don't think it worked out necessarily, but
no. But that being said, though, I think he should try to get on a ticket. Like, I would love that fucking Kal Penn because and not because like I loved Harold and Kumar. And hey, wouldn't it be funny if the pot smoking Arab guy got elected? But because
you really feel
right. But because, like, I've actually heard him speak on matters of policy, and he actually knows his shit. And he worked very closely with the Obama administration. He has some chops now, and I like that.
Yeah.
And I think his personality is, would be kind of a fresh change of pace for Washington. So someone closer to our age who would actually have the capacity to lead. And it's kind of even sad that we have to say that because, like, when our parents were our age, it was kind of expected of them that they would start leading. But now it's like, a millennial president. Oh, they can't possibly do that. Why the fuck not? We're almost 40. Like, it's kind of time for your generation to step the fuck down.
Like how
just got into politics again. Sorry.
No, that's okay. It's interesting. This stage is so big. It's like you see that I could have used that key on another door. Right. But I went like this. I guess it's a secret route because I had to find that secret bubble.
Oh, interesting.
But I think you it's not like it's one or the other. I'm pretty sure I'll get another key and it'll. Oh, okay. That's what I was doing. I was going to get the crystal heart.
Okay. I'm feeling this stage. I like the lighting tricks that it plays, and it's cool.
Yeah, I like it myself. How do I get this? Ugh.
But yeah, the one silver lining and kind of the celebrity aspect of politics is that right now the left is getting some really recognizable names out there. Like the easiest one to identify is AOC, and I would vote her in a heartbeat. Like she.
Oh yeah, me too.
She knows her. She's sharp, and that more than like her gender or her personality is what pisses the right off. Is that they can't make anything stick to her because she actually is about policy and demonstrable, change. Like good for her.
Yeah, it's funny like how much screen time she gets on like Fox News and the right as well because I've worked.
You hear about her more on the right than you do on the left right now.
Seriously,
because she's such an easy target to like. This is the liberal ruination this country's trying to bring on. This woman and her ideas.
And she's young, she's brown, and she's
pretty.
They can paint her as radical, and she's pretty, which makes people hate her more.
Right. Because how dare you? You could be making someone a fine wife right now.
Yeah.
Well, and if you've ever heard conservative arguments against her, they do mention that bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she has to put career first. I'm like,
okay,
really?
I missed
Is this 1945? What the fuck? Oh shit! What's going on here?
Mm-hmm. See, that's hard to tell. I mean, that's why you can go back to stages. But there are definitely a ton of strawberries I missed. I was trying not to get here.
You and the damn strawberries.
I'll come back. Yeah, there's like a million in this stage.
I get the feeling I'm about to feel some shit.
Maybe.
The Gorgon? Is that what I'm supposed to be feeling for? Oh, Stranger Things Part 4 is out.
Oh, yeah. There's
supposed
to
be the first
two parts. Yeah.
Right. Part 4, Part 1.
Yep.
I know, I haven't either. I did watch the first 2 episodes of Kenobi and wasn't offended by it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what do you think? I haven't watched it yet, but I that's probably the show I'm most excited for on Disney Plus so far.
I'm a little bit biased because I actually really enjoyed Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. Like, I didn't like everything about... I didn't like a whole lot about the prequels, but I thought that Ewan McGregor was kind of a wonderful, like, silver lining to the prequels. Oh, yeah. Like I enjoyed it. Yeah. So much so that, like, he's become more of, like, what I think of when I think of Obi-Wan than even Alec Guinness. And Alec Guinness is a legend. But, when you think about, like, what Alec Guinness did for the role, he showed up in the first movie and died halfway through, and then did kind of, like, cameos. But again, like, for a legendary actor like Alec Guinness, that was enough. But then Ewan McGregor, who was relatively unknown when he got the role as young Obi-Wan in Phantom Menace, he just made it his own. He paid tribute to Alec Guinness, which was great. He kissed the ring, but then I think in a lot of ways he surpassed him.
Oh, I would agree.
Yeah.
And yes, he got like tons more screen time as Obi-Wan, but it wasn't just that. Like, you could have hated Obi-Wan. You know, they could have taken his personality.
He could have wrecked it. Yeah.
Yeah, and he did have, like, yes, he kissed the ring and he paid respect, but he also developed something believable that you really didn't see in Obi-Wan as a older man.
Right, and that's what this series seems to be doing. It makes Obi-Wan much more human and, like, you know, it's no secret
that gap a little.
Right, it's no secret that when this series starts, like, he's just, like, depressed and he's like a shell of his former self. I mean, I won't say anything beyond that, but he does that well. Like, he steps back into the role naturally, but it's like, you know, what would happen, like, after he thought that he had killed his best friend and everything that he fought for was ruined. Like, he's actually just not invested in being a Jedi anymore.
Yeah. Kind of wants to just live in exile, I imagine. But yeah, I'm curious to see, like, what the story would even be. Like, I know there was some extended universe stuff.
I didn't guess how they would, like, bring him back into the action. Like, how it would be anything more than just, you know, like... And, you know, actually, I wouldn't be totally offended by, like, a series that was just, like, Obi-Wan surviving in the wilderness of Tatooine. Like, like a Bear Grylls Man vs. Wild kind of thing starring Obi-Wan. But it's not that. Like, in the first episode, he's very much doing, like, some of that. He's just living on Tatooine, trying to keep a low profile. But the way that they rope him back in is actually kind of interesting, because I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
But anyways...
I wonder if we're
going
to get some... I remember was it Rebels? And again, I haven't watched, like, any of those shows.
Yeah, me neither, but it does seem to be bringing a lot of that... it does seem to be bringing a lot of, like, formerly animated or video game exclusive characters into the limelight.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. It really does seem like they said, hey, extended universe and... Ooh.
So the primary antagonists, which is not a spoiler because they show up in the first 2 minutes, are the Inquisitors.
Okay, no. The Inquisitors.
Who
are exterminating the Jedi?
Yes. So, and you really wouldn't know who the Inquisitors... They do a good job of introducing them right away, but you really wouldn't know who they are unless you played the Jedi Fallen Order video game, where they were also the main antagonists. Oh, and I really appreciated that, because I fucking loved Jedi Fallen Order, and I'm so glad that it's getting a sequel.
Yeah, we haven't heard much about that, have we? The sequel,
which is funny because, like, the main character of it is such, like, a milquetoast, like, non-entity. Well, that's how he appears. Like, he's just, you know, another generic, you know, young white guy, former Jedi apprentice who's now on his own. And that sounds like so boring. But the actor who they got for it is actually really good.
Oh yeah,
I think he was on Gotham. He played the twins who were kind of like the Joker substitute. If you watch the series,
I've never watched it, and I heard I should watch the first few seasons.
You should, yeah, you should watch like seasons 1 and 2, and that's about it.
Okay.
But he played this character called, like, I think his name was like Jamie or something like that, but it was basically young Joker. And gotcha. What was really interesting about him was the first episode he was in. They show up, and the reason that the first couple of seasons of Gotham are so great is that it's like Gotham City without Batman, and it's just like a serial crime show. Like, it's a different case every week. And in the later seasons, it leans more into the Batman mythos. And weirdly enough, that makes the series weaker.
Yeah, I heard that in the beginning, it's not even like supervillains. It's just
it's just, and that's exactly what this is. And that's what makes it so super disturbing, is because, like, unless you saw a commercial and it's like, oh, this kid's totally going to be the Joker, you would never guess it, because the only thing that even kind of gives it away is that he's in a circus. Like, his mother was a circus actor, and he, like, resented her because he was, like, actually really smart. He could have gone to college, but she was like abusive and she would drink and beat him and stuff. And he's like, and then one day she turns up dead. So naturally they're interviewing him, and he's like, you know, my mom wasn't perfect, and this, that, and the other thing. But she was a horrible lady, but she didn't deserve this. And then at the end of the episode, surprise, surprise, he was the one who killed her. And when they finally figure it out, he does this brilliant thing where, like, he kind of changes his face just a little bit and puts on this grin. And it's like, oh shit, what a cool Joker origin, you know? Because, like, he doesn't, like, put on makeup and green hair and be like, and he's not the Joker. But he's just, like, this really disturbed teenager. And that's what makes it so great, is that, like you said, he's not a supervillain. They just play it straight, that he's just this, like, really disturbed kid who murdered his mom. And yeah, maybe sometime 10 to 15 years later, he gets out of prison and becomes the Joker. But then in the later seasons, they lean into it, and, like, he is like mini Joker. It's stupid. But going back to Jedi Fallen Order, he also just plays a Jedi apprentice who, like, kind of like Obi-Wan, is just trying to keep a low profile. And that, like, without spoiling the game, that become, like, the Inquisitors track him down, and he has to live life on the run. And the only way he can defend himself is, like, by actually revisiting these sacred Jedi sites and learning more about the ways of the Force. And it's a really cool story, and he does it really well. And he takes, like, what is kind of like a generic looking character, like it's basically just Luke Skywalker 2.0, but he makes it his own thing, and he does a really good job. Okay. And his name is Cal Kestis, and I kind of hope he shows up in some way, like as a tribute, like since the game just so happened to get a trailer the same week as Obi-Wan came out. I would love to see him show up in that series in some way.
That would be, I mean, so that's EA, obviously, because they're the ones that have the license right now.
But they get the full, like, Disney budget. Like, they have... So, and the fact that the Inquisitors are in this, like, it makes me believe that, like, maybe we do get to see Cal somehow. That would be really cool.
Now, when does so I'm assuming, because obviously, the game takes place shortly after episode, like, 3?
No, it actually takes place, like 10 years later.
Oh, okay.
So it's literally halfway between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, which is exactly where Cal Kestis' story is. Because, like,
that's what I was asking, the game, but
so the game is the exact same time frame. So Cal was like a 12-year-old Jedi apprentice when Order 66 happened. His master got killed, and then he had to go on the run. And then the game picks up 10 years later, and he's, like, living on a planet, just working as, like, a junker. And and that's where it starts. So it would be the exact same time frame as the Obi-Wan series, and I would love to see, like, even if he just shows up for, like, one episode, just to acknowledge that the games are canon, and like, you know, he and Obi-Wan team up to do something. That would be so cool. Because the actor, he's not just like mocap. They use the exact same face and model, and he's the exact age.
Yeah.
So he could easily appear in live action.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they said, like, once they scrapped the extended universe and scrap, I say that in quotes because what do you call it? They scrapped it, and then they ended up still using a lot of the same stories and ideas.
Yeah, they just kind of put, like, slightly different spins on them. Yep.
Yeah. I feel like once they did that, and then they said, what do you call it? Starkiller. What were Force Unleashed?
Yeah, Starkiller's not canon.
Once those were not canon, they said every game that comes out has to be, you know,
canon
make sense in the canonical, basically.
Which is a shame, because I actually really like the Force Unleashed.
Yeah, well, the first one was...
The first one, yeah, sorry. Yeah. The second one doesn't exist.
Yeah, let's say the second one doesn't exist, exactly.
Well, and I think, like, even when the second one came out, like, they weren't sure if they wanted to make it canonical. Because it was so different from the first one, and basically, like, undid everything the first one did. But the first one was successful enough that they kind of had to make a sequel. But my thought would be, like, just introduce a new character then. Why does it have to be Starkiller? Why not make a second game that, like, takes place before the movies or something? Like, who gives a shit? You can do literally anything. Why reuse this character who you basically gave him a full arc and completed it with his death?
Yeah.
Like, what a dumb What a dumb thing to do.
The galaxy's big. Like,
right.
You can make another Jedi if you're worried you need a Jedi.
Exactly. And there's actually my only criticism about Obi-Wan, which, and like, I understand they kind of have to, because he lives on Tatooine, but how many fucking movies or side stories or TV series about Star Wars are going to take place, like, mainly on Tatooine? Like,
yeah, seriously.
Give me a different fucking planet. Like, I understand Obi-Wan has to. At least for the start.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But, yeah. but like, Boba Fett, what? And yeah, he took over Jabba's palace, but like, why did he have to stay on Tatooine the whole fucking time? Just have him like going across the galaxy, like being a criminal. I don't know. Something. They have like literally an entire universe that they could traverse, and they always do the same tired shit.
And by the time Boba Fett is Boba Fett, like, is he the only clone left?
I don't know.
Like,
well, there's an anime series called The Bad Batch, which is a group of clones that get out of the Empire, and it's I've only watched a few episodes, but it's good.
So that's definitely way after the Clone Wars and everything. So
let me think. The Bad Batch is so like the clones, it's become the Empire, and so these particular troopers did not obey Order 66, and so they're on the run.
Okay.
But like they developed enough of their own personality that they couldn't be swayed by the Emperor.
Yeah.
So this guy's just been chilling here the whole time.
Yep, just in a block of his own emotions.
Right. But yeah, I would love to see like the video game character Cal Kestis make a live action appearance, because he's probably one of the only characters that they could do that with, because they didn't like age him up or age him down. He in real life, the actor is the exact age of the character in the video games. And he's he's done action roles. He could absolutely step into the live action realm for this series. And I think that would be so cool, like, is to tie like the video game universe in with like the main Obi-Wan canon.
Now, what do we have? This is only like the second week of the show being out, right?
No, it's the first week, but they did 2 episodes.
Okay. I was hoping there was like a 3rd episode now. But...
No, the 3rd episode will be this coming Friday.
Okay.
But yeah, so the plot, I'm like, there's some parts where I kind of eye rolled a little bit, but overall, like, not quite as bad as like the opening parts of Boba Fett.
Okay.
Like Boba Fett literally needed the Mandalorian to step in and save it.
Yeah, I've heard Boba Fett is not great, and
you haven't watched it?
No, why do they have to take his mask off and do like?
Well, actually, the character of Boba Fett I don't find super offensive. It's the shit that he's doing that I... Like, have you heard about the gang of, like, colorful motorcycle street punks that he hires?
No.
Oh, that was where, like, I almost turned it off. But it just so happened that, like, an episode or 2 later, the Mandalorian shows up, and it kind of becomes, like, The Mandalorian Season 2.5.
Okay.
And honestly, like, that's the only thing that kept me watching, because like Boba Fett's story was so dumb. Like literally, like they took all, like they did something really cool, which was like give him kind of a shred of humanity, but the way that manifests itself is like he won't kill anybody, and like he like hires this group of, you know, like stupid cyberpunk-looking street toughs from Tatooine, and their thing is they ride these like colorful Vespas. I'm not exaggerating. They're like these rainbow-colored Vespas that they drive, looking completely out of place on Tatooine. And like when they actually shoot the scenes, like they could have done like the way these motorcycles come into play. There's like these chase sequences, and when you think of Star Wars chase sequence, what do you think of?
What do you call it? Endor.
Okay, so you may think of like the speed bikes from Endor. You might think of the pod racers, but something like that, right? Like where there's like these wide open corridors and like it's really fast paced and there's like guns going off in the background. No, they literally shot these like going about 2 miles an hour, and like they don't show the bottoms because there was clearly someone just below them like pushing them through the sets. It literally looks like something that you and I could have shot like in our backyard. It is that stupid. Like, just watch that one episode and tell me I'm wrong. It is so dumb.
How many episodes are most of these shows? Like,
It varies, but I think Boba Fett was, I don't know, maybe 9 or 10.
Okay. Are they hour long?
Give or take. Some of them are on the shorter end, like 40. Well, and that was the other weird thing, was like, some of these Disney serials, some of them are like an hour and 20 minutes. Some of them are like 35 minutes long.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of weird. I think that's just Jon Favreau's style, because he's the one behind all of these. And Jon Favreau has some great ideas, but there's like, I think he kind of feels compelled to make everyone a hero or a good guy. And for Boba Fett would have been really great is like, the Mandalorian had to team up with him, but Boba Fett's still like just this not good dude.
Yeah.
But instead it's like, no, now Boba Fett has to be a hero, and now he has to take pity on these ragtag teenagers. Like,
yeah, it's just like, why is Boba Fett popular? And it's just like, it's not because, like, why do you have to make him a hero? He was popular for a reason. Well, I kind of think he was probably popular just because he looked really cool.
He looked really cool, yeah.
He was mysterious. Like, and of course, by doing a whole series centered on him, you're going to take all the mystery out of him.
Right.
How the hell did I get down there?
I don't know. I was actually thinking about that as you were talking. I'm like, where the fuck are you going?
It really was down here. This has happened to me before. I have to restart the stage in order to access it again. They literally just close it off. Like,
oh shit.
They changed it so it's just gone.
So it's soft locked?
Oh, it's not soft lock. I could still beat. I just wanted more strawberries.
Oh, okay.
Like, I see that one, and there's probably more, but we'll just continue on.
Gotcha.
That's fine. I can get more strawberries later.
But yeah, like, I'm not ready to call Obi-Wan a success, but I'm also not I'm not calling it garbage either.
Okay.
Like there were parts of Boba Fett that were just pure trash, and then like it got kind of cool at the end.
Yikes.
Whoa. And The Mandalorian, I'll say, is probably the best Star Wars there is right now.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if you're into The Mandalorian at all, but if you haven't watched it, then...
I'm like literally, I've watched 3 episodes of the first season.
Oh,
I'm gonna restart it. I'm just gonna restart that shit, because it's been a while.
You should. Like, The Mandalorian is literally, like, I think Star Wars as Star Wars should be.
Yeah.
And, like, better than the movie, like better than most of the movies, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, one, obviously,
and that's not to say it's perfect, but it's real good. It's good Star Wars.
For me, at least, what the hell is it called? Holy shit. Rogue One.
Rogue One, yeah.
It's not the best Star Wars movie, but I almost want to say it is. It's so good.
It's good.
And it's just,
well,
it's a little bit
different.
different.
That's kind of what The Mandalorian does. It shows, like, well, what's cool, what made Rogue One, I don't want to step on what you were going to say. You go first.
I was just going to say, like, it might be my favorite. I think Empire's my favorite, but that's literally
everyone's favorite.
It's nostalgia. It's nostalgia. That's the only reason.
Well, not just that though, but like Empire's
but...
not just like a good Star Wars movie. It's actually just excellent.
It's a good adventure movie.
It's awesome filmmaking. It's like what got people sold on. It's what made Star Wars the gigantic mega franchise it is now. Like, if it weren't for Empire, like, we would not have The Mandalorian or anything else, because it's that damn good. But go on about Rogue One, because I want to hear what you say before I say my piece.
Okay. No, what was I talking about? Oh, like,
why Rogue One is good.
Well, basically, like, the shows are better than the movies for the most part, and I tend to agree right now. I really did like Force Awakens. Like, I know people had complaints about
me too.
in general.
100%.
And that, she's a Mary Sue, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, no, that's kind of what made it surprising. Because, part of it was the marketing, but it was like everyone expected Finn to be, the next Jedi.
Right, because they really did advertise Finn a lot, which also would have been cool, but, it was kind of a neat thing that Rey kind of came out of left field.
Yeah, and I liked Rey because there was a mystery of, like, okay, who is she?
Right.
What's going on with her? And it seemed like there was gonna be there was something there.
And let's be honest, Daisy Ridley's kind of nice.
yeah. I mean, yeah, sure, that's true too. But yeah, the other movies, there was parts I liked about the second one.
Well, yeah, like I said, I know that Rian Johnson had some ideas that were like a little bit too big for his britches, but
I'm trying to think.
I wish they had committed to what he was trying to do instead of just undoing it all in the third act.
Yeah. I know I'm kind of going off the rails now, but it's like, is there a single thing I liked about about episode 9? Probably, but I can't think of it right now. Like, that movie was just like kind of a hot mess. Especially like, if I saw it just by itself, I'd be like, I feel like there's some things that went unanswered. I guess I have to see the other movies to get context. And if I saw them like in that order, then I'd be like, nope. It just still was nonsensical.
It was just sloppy filmmaking. And like I said, I think J.J. Abrams is a fine director because The Force Awakens was really good.
What did he have to work with? You know,
right.
It's I think about like Hajime Tabata with FF15. That game, especially in its final, like the Royal version, it's serviceable. Yeah. You know, and of course it's pretty. There's good parts to it, but it could have been so much more.
Right.
Of course, you get like...
But they handed him a project that was, you know, like 10 years behind and like an amalgamation of like 20 different things. And it's like, get it out in 2 years. Like, what do you do with that? And with Rian Johnson, again, like they had a schedule to keep. And they also had like this like really dramatic fan feedback about The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi. Like, okay, get it out on time, fix it, and bring the entire series to a close. Like, what the fuck?
Like, seriously, the entire series.
Like, I would have shit my pants.
Wanted.
Like, kudos to Rian Johnson for even taking that on. But like, what we were left with was a hot mess, just like 15.
Yep.
But anyways, going back to the Rogue One. What I thought was so cool about Rogue One and why I really enjoy that movie too is because it was a completely different vantage point as far as like cinema and narrative goes for viewing the Star Wars universe. We've up until that point, we've always been seeing the mainline Star Wars franchise, not like the video games or the books or something like that, but like the main series, like the ones that get big Hollywood releases, those were always from the point of view of the Jedi and the Skywalkers, right? It didn't deviate from that. But finally you were getting to see like Star Wars from the ground floor, you know, like this is what ordinary people and mercenaries and bounty hunters see when they're like absorbed into all of these like fantastical Empire narratives, you know, like and that was really cool, and that's what makes The Mandalorian so good, is that The Mandalorian is a badass, but he is not unstoppable. Like he gets his ass kicked regularly, and like he needs like friends, and he needs clever plot devices to like help him get. Like he can't just get really good at swinging a lightsaber and fix everything, you know.
And that was the thing, is like Luke was becoming like this ultimate badass,
right.
You know, being a Jedi.
That's passable because Luke was the first one. Luke was the first one.
Exactly.
And he was also the fucking chosen one, you know, like that's different.
and that first time seeing, like, for me, like A New Hope and Empire especially, that it was like such an adventure.
Yes.
You know, with this ragtag group of people, you know, and then you have Luke, but
that can't be every every single story that you tell.
Exactly.
It can be Luke's story, sure, and Rey's, because she's part of that same timeline or that same core canon. But like for the side films, you kind of have to do something different.
It was kind of like to their detriment. I liked it as well, but so it's kind of hard to criticize it. But to bring back like Han Solo and Leia and stuff, like Leia is a general, okay, so it's just like that kind of makes sense. But like you didn't have to bring back Han and Chewie. Like
you really didn't, even though I like Han is my favorite character. And so like part of me was like just kind of fanboying at it, but you know, I think Harrison Ford actually, they should probably bring him on as like a consultant for the series, because he seems to have really good instincts, which is his comment when they brought him on for The Force Awakens is like, didn't we already tell Han Solo's story? And he's like, you know, I'll take your money, but like I don't, like, I insist that you kill my character off. And you know, that takes some stones when you could be sitting, like, they could bring Han Solo back for every single project, and he could just make like a cool $1 million every
and you know,
like 6 months. Yeah,
like Star Wars is such a huge thing,
right?
Like you're kind of throwing that away. I mean, of course, there's always like past stories and blah,
and
blah, blah,
I know part of that is that Harrison Ford is like kind of a notorious grumpus, but the other part of that is he also has like good sensibilities as an actor. Like he's not just about the paycheck. Like he wants to be taken seriously for a wide variety of roles and like other projects and stuff like that. He doesn't just want to be Han Solo. And so like his thoughts going into that were like, yeah, I'll be Han Solo again, but let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah, you're right. He kind of had a feel. I mean, maybe it was just him personally what he wanted for Han Solo's arc. Right. But yeah, if they kept Han Solo around longer, like it would have been like, do we really need this guy? Like,
right.
And again, I'm not trying to shit on Han.
He also, no, me neither. And he does. You just killed your friend.
I killed Theo. That.
Oh no.
Oh man.
The betrayal.
The betrayal.
You're just going on this sweet adventure with him, and all of a sudden, murder.
I mean, he's pretty hardy in that thing. So, well, but anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I completely get what you're saying. Like, I love Han Solo, and but his time in the spotlight was done, and like I actually didn't hate the young Han Solo movie like a lot of people did.
Yeah.
One, because it was a different actor, it told a story that hadn't been told yet, it was like just like Rogue One. It was extremely light on all of like the magic, Jedi, like laser sword waving parts of the series. You know, it showed like what would the Star Wars universe look like for, you know, a bounty hunter and a scoundrel like Han, and it was cool.
Yeah.
Because like you said, the universe that they've crafted is so big. There's so many different stories you can tell.
Like they can, it's a fucking universe with a force. Like,
right. So why keep going back to fucking Tatooine and revisiting the same like 3 or 4 characters over and over again?
Yeah,
like,
or the
Darth Vader is a
legacy.
Yeah.
Or like freaking, I gotta say, in episode 1 when C-3PO showed up, it was just like, what?
Why?
Like, how? I was like, what, 12 years old or something? And I was like, what, really?
What the fuck's he doing here?
Like, Anakin created, this makes no sense.
Right.
Like, and it's still to this day,
it still doesn't make sense 9 movies later, you know?
And it was like, I feel like it's one of the worst decisions of the freaking prequels. Yeah. It's like, it's not even that big of a deal, but it just felt offensive.
Like, why couldn't he have just shown up like, he's just working a part-time job in Padme's palace or something, like R2 was. You know, that's all they had to do. But instead, no, Darth Vader. Well, and that was the other thing. Like, another criticism that I have about Obi-Wan is, like, Darth Vader's a badass. I'm glad that we're all in agreement there. But having him as and so far, they haven't really shown him yet in the first 2 episodes. But it's my understanding that he's a major part of this series. And my question is why? Like, I worry that they're going to risk undoing, like, the emotional impact of the very first Star Wars movie if they have, like, him and Obi-Wan fight each other. Like, that would be fucking stupid.
You know they will. You know they're going to.
I hope they don't. Like, I hope it's just, like, Vader learns that Obi-Wan is alive, and Obi-Wan learns that Vader is alive, and it's kind of like a cat and mouse game. And they never really quite cross paths, but they almost do. Or like Vader sees him like riding a ship away or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't want them to have a lightsaber fight. I really don't. Because that would completely undo that whole scene in the very first fucking movie.
Yeah. Like I haven't seen you since most terrible time of probably both of our lives.
Exactly. And like instead, like, oh yeah, remember all those adventures that we had in between where you like kept getting away from me? Like, oh, fuck that.
Yeah.
I kind of hope that they have like the one thing that I will say about Jon Favreau is he does seem to be a genuine Star Wars fan and seems to have like good sensibilities about preserving the integrity of the originals instead of just like completely cashing in on them or undermining them.
Mm-hmm. Hey Theo. So yeah, I gotta finish up Mandalorian.
Yeah, you really do. That's actually absolutely the best Star Wars you can watch right now.
As far as the next thing, I mean, I feel like I could watch what are those like animated shorts, Revolutions or something like that?
Yeah, they're literally only like 30 seconds long. Yeah, and they just retell what you already know. So yeah, there's.
Wait, what? I'm thinking of something else where like the first episode, like each episode is a different artist or a different director. One was like samurai.
Oh yeah, Star Wars. Like it's almost like the What If.
So basically, yeah. So
I can watch that whenever. Those are really cool. Those are really cool. It's all.
I only watched
the
first one so far.
Yeah.
But I'll do Mandalorian, and then I think I'm gonna go straight to Obi-Wan because I'm trying to think like what else is there.
I honestly like as much as like there's a huge chunk of it that I hated. I would still watch Boba Fett just so that you're ready for whatever comes next in The Mandalorian, because it's not just like, hey, The Mandalorian shows up and saves the day. Like, they actually move that series forward.
Yeah.
Like, Boba Fett is also, like, literally Mandalorian 2.5.
I was thinking, like, I know there's something else that I'm missing as far as Star Wars that's come out exclusive to Disney Plus since Disney Plus has been around. And The Bad Batch was one of those things, but it's also the last season of Clone Wars.
Yep.
Which is actually, this is kind of...
No, I've never watched Clone Wars.
I've actually have not finished all of Clone Wars. I have not seen all the episodes, but I have seen all of season 6, which was up until a little while ago, the last season. So I kind of know how it ended, unfortunately.
So you're going to hate this, or I guess other people would hate this. Go ahead, you first.
But yeah, I still have to watch like many episodes in like seasons 3, 4, and 5, and then I have to finish the last season. And I'm actually excited to, because that's just like a solid show. Like,
it is, and that's why what I'm about to say is so horrible. But like, so you know that Ahsoka shows up in The Mandalorian, right? You've heard that?
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, okay. Season 2 or something.
Right. So no spoilers. She's there and she's cool. But like, looking at her character, like I kind of vaguely knew who she was. I'm like, oh shit, is there something about her I'm supposed to know? So I went on the wiki and I actually read like a summary of the entire Clone Wars series. So I know like the beginning and middle and end of it without having watched like a single episode, which I know is a travesty. But like, I also didn't feel like I could get into like 50 plus hours of content right now.
Oh my god, yeah. The show is... And it's like every season, I think, is like 20 something episodes or something.
Like, and they're all like a half hour to 40 minutes long. Yeah. Some of them are even an hour. Yeah.
I think maybe just the last season is like that. I'm assuming, because I remember it was airing on Cartoon Network. But
so like yeah, I basically read the Clone Wars and Rebels just so that I was aware of all the references.
Who is this person
showing up? Exactly. Yeah.
Now, there's another show, I think it's basically for kids, the whole thing about the black lightsaber. I think that Rebels? I think that is Rebels. Okay, gotcha.
Well, and that's actually, like, that's one thing that I thought was kind of stupid, is the whole Darth Maul is back, and he's got this whole side story that makes no sense.
Yeah, I did hear... Actually, I don't know if that's canon anymore. I think the whole Darth Maul with a bunch of legs was like extended
Spider
universe
Maul
thing. Oh, was he in an actual show?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was in both
Rebels?
the Clone Wars and Rebels, and in fact, Rebels is his canonical death.
Oh, see, I thought, didn't he go back to having just 2 legs or something, or can he like split them out whenever he wants to?
So the story there, as I understand it, is that after he lost to Obi-Wan, he got these mechanical spider legs and was driven
ended
mad.
Up in some junk colony or something.
Yes,
like
exactly.
That.
And then his brother showed up and like kind of brought him back to reality. He got just regular cybernetic legs, and he became like the leader of Mandalore by winning the Darksaber in a duel.
I remember.
And then he had that until he got into a duel with Palpatine, who killed his brother and basically just drove him out and made him a hermit. And then from there, he kind of had like a mini redemption arc, I guess, where he became like a tutor to the main character of Rebels. But then he decided, I'm going to go try to... And then I'm
Darth Maul did?
Darth Maul did. He called himself Old Master and tried to tutor the main character of Rebels. And then for some reason that I don't remember, he decided, no, I'm going to go try to kill Obi-Wan while we're on Tatooine, and Obi-Wan just smokes him.
Okay, now wait a second, because the makeup that he wears is makeup, but the horns is actually part of his race of people, isn't it? Like,
yeah, and I think the makeup's
was he trying
tattoos.
to hide? Okay, so he looked like Darth Maul as he was.
Yeah, he just wore a hood. He just wore a hood for a little while.
Okay,
but it was very
I didn't know if it was
Maul.
supposed to be some like twist or something like that in the show, because I've never watched it. But...
I think there is a twist when he sort of kind of turns evil again, but it's really just more like it's less like he's pure evil. Because, like, I guess in Rebels and Clone Wars, they try to make him sympathetic. Which, again, why do that with a character like Maul?
Why do you have to make everyone sympathetic?
Right,
like
Boba Fett, Maul. Like, I don't want them to be sympathetic.
They're gonna make Palpatine sympathetic next. Like,
oh no, that would suck. Though I would be interested in seeing a young Palpatine show, but I would hope that it's just like he's pure evil and this is how he rises to power. But anyways, the Maul thing. There's a sort of kind of cool, like, you can watch it on YouTube. It's all over the place. Like his last duel with Obi-Wan, where he shows up in this kind of like this Kurosawa samurai scene.
Yeah, that's just with Obi-Wan at the fireplace or something.
You've
outside,
seen it,
right?
Yeah. You've seen it.
I haven't seen the whole thing, but yeah.
Okay. But
I remember
it's
seeing
like,
trailers.
It's like 10 seconds long, and it ends exactly like it ends because Obi-Wan, of course, is alive at the start of the sequel trilogy. And yeah, so that was kind of cool, but again, like, I don't understand why Maul had to have a whole arc just for one really satisfying scene.
Right? Like, is his impact felt later than that? Like,
well, and I don't know, because remember, he also did you see Solo?
No, I haven't seen Solo. I know he shows up in that too.
Okay, yeah, he shows. He's like the post-credit scene. He shows up.
Oh, really?
Well, there's not a post-credit scene, but he shows up for 2 seconds, and he's been kind of like pulling the strings. But then I don't know if Disney's going to do anything with that, because Solo was kind of a flop, and so I don't think that they want to do that. But it was just but people freaked out because you just got to see live action Maul again. Yeah,
I'm assuming that they were trying to do like a X-Men First Class thing where they wanted to do a bunch of side stories, like either as, with Solo and with that actor and group of people, or just like, I don't know who else they would do. If they would do like a Lando movie, or if they would, just make a sequel to Solo or something. But yeah, I think because of how...
I'm in the boat, I wouldn't mind seeing young Solo again.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta watch the movie, because I
think they could do it better than they did, but overall, like, it wasn't an offensive movie to me. Like, I enjoyed the ride.
Okay.
I wonder if it's kind of like The Mandalorian, where there's a couple ups and downs, but overall, I enjoyed it.
I think maybe people can't suspend their disbelief of the character. That it's just like, they're not acting like Harrison Ford.
Well, actually, the thing that I didn't like, I actually thought that this, I can't think of his name, the actor, but I thought he did an admirable job of stepping into Harrison Ford's shoes. What I didn't like about the movie was it was kind of like everything that we heard about in Han Solo's story up to that point. Like, apparently everything interesting that Han ever did all happened within, like, a week of each other.
Yeah, okay.
Like, he met Lando, he won the Falcon, he did the Kepler run or whatever it's called, he met Chewbacca, he fell in love, he lost his love,
all the things happened. About the legend of the man.
It was like, and it's in an hour and a half. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, that kind of sucks, because then it's like, wow, you really peaked at a certain time of your life.
Yeah, and then like, literally he did nothing interesting for the next, like, 10 to 15 years until A New Hope.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
It's really hilarious because, like, again, like, all the interesting Han Solo stuff is there, but they felt it's kind of like the Rise of Skywalker, where they felt compelled.
They had to tie it up.
They had to cram it all in as tightly as they could.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But
it's more coherent than the Rise of Skywalker by far.
Okay.
It's still an interesting crime story.
Coming up to visit, like, we were thinking if that's going to happen in June, right?
I could swing July to actually probably a little better even than June.
Oh, okay. let's see, July. All right, because I'm getting close to like picking up days for June.
Okay.
So I wanted to leave a weekend free, but yeah, let me know. Just like gut feeling right now, you feel like July would be better?
Probably, yeah, because June we've got kind of anchored down. Like this first week until the 10th, we're gonna be at Lake Erie, and then I only have that middle week in there, the 13th through the 17th, and then on the 22nd we're going to Pittsburgh to catch a Pirates game with my dad, and we'll be back Saturday the 25th. I could potentially do like the week of the 27th through the 1st. So somewhere in there.
Let's see.
That's still about a month out.
You said the 27th?
Uh-huh.
To the 1st, somewhere around there?
Yeah, I mean, like, not all of those days, but, like, somewhere in there.
Okay. Maybe. I mean, right now, I don't have really anything going on during the week other than I work Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay.
So I would definitely want to try to take one day off.
Right.
Just so I could, we could have some more time. If we did that week, would you include like the weekend before, the weekend after, or would it just be some weekdays you think in there?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'd be different. I know that for the 4th of July, I think we're getting on a train and going down to Atlanta for the 4th of July. So I'd probably like it to be like earlier in the week rather than later.
Yeah, that makes. And 4th of July anyway. I have to work probably 2 days, like the 3rd and 4th, or the 4th and 5th, or something. So that's the summer holiday I picked up.
Right on.
But, okay. So maybe July.
Let's text back and forth here and let's figure it out.
We'll workshop it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is.
So this episode ended up being all about Star Wars, which is great. But
basically, yeah, and politics, which is also Star Wars.
Which is also Star Wars.
Also,
I missed a chat from Sarah. She said, "Tell you about the pizza episode of the foods that." Do you and Addie watch the Foods That Built America by any chance?
No, well, I don't.
It's on the History Channel.
A lot of food shows. Probably not if it's on the History Channel.
So it's really good. Like it's not like a food channel like Grandma's Home Cooking or anything. It's literally about like all of like the major like mega giants like Kentucky Fried Chicken or McDonald's or Pizza Hut, and it's like the historical backstory about how they got as big as they did.
Okay,
it's really cool.
A little history lesson. That's what I liked about Ugly Delicious as well. Is you get your history lesson.
Yeah, it's a straight up
not even related
show.
To food, just like tangentially, food was a part of it. Or
exactly.
Something.
Yeah, it's all about like the branding and like them building their empires, and like Kentucky Fried Chicken in particular is one of the best episodes because Harlan Sanders was just like this gun-toting like vagabond. He was like Han Solo, basically.
It's like, didn't he not even like start Kentucky Fried Chicken until he was like well into his like 50s or 60s or something?
Yeah, no, he ran a gas station and like he straight up murdered people who were like his business rivals. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And like it wasn't like he snuck into their houses and killed them. They literally like dueled him with shotguns. For his business.
Different time.
Yeah. It was just like different time, early 20th century, yeah.
Wow.
It was wild. Anyways, yeah, so you should watch that show. Sarah's right.
Okay, what is it called again?
The foods that built America.
Okay, yeah, I'm always down for interesting.
It's on Hulu.
Like that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That should be pretty easy then.
Yeah.
Maybe Addie has watched it then if it's on a streaming service.
If she likes like food shows, she would be disappointed. It's not a food show. It's literally a documentary. But I mean, it's really cool. Like they hire actors to play these people, and it's like super dramatic.
Oh, okay.
It's really good. But it is a documentary.
I mean, I guess that is par for the course for the History Channel. They really, went gung-ho on the entertainment aspect.
Oh, 100%. But they do it, this particular series, they do really well. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we are at the end of the episode whenever this is over. They're doing another selfie.
Basically, I think there's just a little bit more dialogue, and then I can probably, let's see, I can save and quit, I guess, whenever.
No, yeah, let's finish the cutscene, because I have been tangentially reading this, yeah. So much nicer than the other one.
Talking a lot about their families and mental health and stuff. Yeah. There we go.
That's a good place to leave it. Wait a second. It reaches so much tomorrow.
There we go.
Next time on Play the Hits.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah, in other news, we'll be starting our summer series here, and we're pretty much leaning into Animal Crossing right now.
Oh yeah. Oh, Addie totally wants to give you a tour of her island and everything.
Sweet.
And she can give you a tour of my island while she's at it, because she was jonesing to like play more and do more of like the part-time job, which is like the DLC. And so I was like, yeah, just take over my island. You can do whatever.
That's awesome.
Thanks for being cool.
Thanks for
being cool. In a few seconds, I think this is a good place to leave it.
This is such a nice game.
Here we go.
Chocobo feather. All right, sweet.
It is a nice game. It's a good story, and but the gameplay is just tight.
It is,
you know? Even more than Super Meat Boy. If you die, it's just like, well, I fucked up. You know, you never feel like this fucking game. Like Super Meat Boy was very slippery sometimes. This game is not that.
No, this mountain is your mountain.
Yeah, right. It is. Yeah, this mountain is.
You must complete it.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Next time we hopefully reach the summit.
Yeah. So we've still got to kill the devil, reach the summit, and begin Animal Crossing, which I'm sure will murder all kinds of people there too.
Yep. Murder a bunch of trees.
Rip and tear until it is done. You saw those memes, right?
Well, what's that?
Animal Crossing New Horizons came out the same week as Doom Eternal. So there was all these memes with like one of the Animal Crossing. Yeah, Isabelle. She's like on his shoulder, like rip and tear.
I think even id Software like got in on it, and they did their own art.
id Software is so cool. Yeah, they do stuff like that all the time.
Yeah, that was pretty. It was pretty funny. I was down for those memes for sure.
All right, dude. Hey, we'll catch you soon. I will bring my laptop to the lake, and we'll see if we can find a way to stream there. But like I said, if you can figure out on your end how to get OBS back up and running, that would probably make it easier, because I'm not sure if my MacBook is going to have the horsepower to do both Discord and stream. Yeah,
I would agree. I don't want to leave it up to chance, so yeah, I might as well do that. When do you leave again?
Wednesday.
Okay, so yeah, maybe
we'll be there the 1st of the 10th. Yeah, so like next weekend or something. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, buddy.
All right, catch you later.
Later, man.